this bill in Texas seems to be a little bit extreme with this problem of bounties for people that turn in somebody that drove someone to an abortion clinic.
For me, I'm pro-life, but what I don't like to see is this idea of every citizen being able to tattle, sue an Uber driver, as you said, be deputized to enforce this abortion law.
They're giving standing to anybody who's got a social grievance. They're taking the culture wars to a place that our country has never gone.
But as the state's former top prosecutor, I have seen the worst of the worst situations. Young girls raped, impregnated, sometimes by members of their own families. I hope whatever comes down the line provides those victims that have been harmed in ways most of us could never imagine the options that they deserve.
So we're going to, as an administration, look at ways to counter this law in Texas.
Is the reality that there isn't a whole lot the administration can do right now to change things in Texas?
Dan, I hope that's not the reality. If they're at all possible, and I think they are possible, we're going to find ways to make a difference for the women of Texas.
The Biden administration is looking at a whole of government approach, asking its agencies to take action. So I'm grateful for that. But Congress needs to act as well. We are going to bring to the floor the Women's Health Protection Act, which will put into law the protections that women need and require that we've had for decades under Roe v. Wade.
Speaker Pelosi says the House will vote to codify abortion protections into law, but you know better than I do, there aren't 60 votes for that in the U.S. Senate. So realistically, what can you and your fellow Democrats do?
I believe we should abolish the filibuster. I do not believe an archaic rule should be used to allow us to put our heads in the sand.
The filibuster, which voters never voted for, which is not in the Constitution and which is a relic of the past, it needs to be eliminated. But I do think we also need to expand the court.
I'm not so sure that there's a huge role for Biden and or Congress right now, other than shouting from the rooftops.
There's nothing conservative about how this is set up, and so I think it will end up failing. But there are going to be other challenges, and if this ends up being the issue that we're talking about in November, it's not just bad for moderates; it's bad for everybody. No one is celebrating this on the right, and it's an uncomfortable conversation that they don't want to have, and I think Democrats are eager to take it.